Good Blue, Bad Blue, we're here, and I guess the last one during the season.
Yeah.
Because if we do another one, it'll be postseason. Final Four time. It's Final Four time, and we're both here. I'm Justin.
This is Brandon, a pumped up Brandon.
Yeah, pumped up Brandon. Justin's already. It's baseball season. Dodgers are 5-0. That's where I'm at. We got a Final Four, all one seeds. Florida and Auburn on one side, Duke and Houston on the other. 4 coaches going for their first title.
Love that.
Yeah. Auburn and Houston have never won a title. So
yeah, Auburn and Houston, yep.
Yeah, they never won a title, yeah.
Houston's been to 2 finals in the 80s.
Back to back.
Yep.
Back to back. Lost both. Mm-hmm. One of them was on the greatest alley-oop pass of all time.
The greatest accidental alley-oop of all time.
Well, whatever, man. whatever. And then the other year they lost to, Patrick Ewing.
And that was hands down the best team in the country. So I think pretty much everybody knew what was going to happen there. Yeah. So this is exciting, man.
And Florida has 2 titles that they won in back-to-back years. Yeah. So there you go. No, this will be a great Final Four. Only second time ever with number 1 seeds. Let's first and foremost talk about how we've gotten to this point before we predict what we think is going to happen. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to bring up a weird fun fact that everybody needs to know.
I love fun facts.
So all 4 number 1 seeds have happened twice in history, 08 and this year. 08 was in San Antonio on April 5th and April 7th. This year it's in San Antonio, April 5th, April 7th.
Yeah.
That just got me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how does that really happen?
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you go back to 2008, the 2 teams were, Memphis and UCLA on one side and Carolina and Kansas on the other?
That's 100% right.
Kansas pulling away with the victory in overtime against Memphis.
Mario Chalmers.
And I actually feel like those were the 2 lesser teams that made the title game. Like, I think Carolina and UCLA were the best 2.
Oh, I pretty much thought Carolina was going to win that year. I thought it was 100% their time. I mean, the media portrayed it that way, everything about it. And, well, we know what happened 40 to 12 later.
And, they still came back and had a shot to take the lead.
Big time,
they had a shot to take the lead. And then UCLA, I thought it was also the best team. So maybe that happens this time. Maybe the 2 underdogs.
I'm not ruling anything out, Justin.
Yeah. No, I'm
really not.
I'm not here. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the tournament so far. 0 upsets, as you're calling it. You're calling it the year that the mid majors died.
They're finished.
And has there been a upset at all in this tournament?
2.
Okay, what were they?
Well, our ACC brethren decided to totally donkey it up and McNeese wore them out.
Okay, that was a 7 and a 10?
No, 5 and 12.
5 and 12. Okay, yeah, that's an upset.
And McNeese is in the mid-major class, and Drake beating Missouri.
Who everybody picked.
Everybody picked, but it's still a mid-major. Yeah. You only had 2 mid-majors going to the second round, and obviously the Sweet 16 was a whole different story.
Yeah, it's if you look at Ken Pomeroy rankings, which is what I usually look at to determine who are the top. I don't go by the actual standings. 7 of the top 9 or 8 of the top 9 teams are his Elite 8, which is insane. And actually, the top 4 are all the top. The Final 4 are all the top 4, and not only that, the 4 this year are 4 of the top 10s all time, according to him. Which I think his rankings only go back it's not 15 years, but
okay.
But still,
time.
Since he's been doing it, they're 4 of the top 10 teams of his rankings of all time for the last 15 years. So.
Okay.
We could have quite a bit of a fun weekend here. Let's look at these 4 teams though. We have so if you go back here, we'll start off with Florida. You want to start off with Florida?
Let's do Florida.
All right.
The luckiest team in the Final Four.
Yeah. I changed my mind actually. Let's go with Auburn first.
Oh, another lucky team.
Yes.
Should be glad to be there.
Probably since the Maui Invitational, we have said, was probably the best team in the country, though.
I'm not going to argue their talent level. I mean, they got every position great. I mean, they got down. What was it, 8 or 9 to Michigan?
10.
Was it 10 to Michigan? Yeah. And it was, I want to say, about 11, 12 minutes left. I'd have to go back and look.
It was under 12 timeouts.
More than enough time. And then Auburn just put an attack on them like, okay.
Well, to me,
they got something to prove.
So if you look at Auburn earlier in the year, I thought they were the toughest team. Not only the best team, I thought they were the toughest.
And they're old.
Yeah, they're. We'll get to that in a minute. they quit playing with that toughness at some point late in the season, losing 3 of the final 4 to get into the tournament. But when they got down 10 to Michigan, that toughness returned, and I did not see it go away at all. Even against Michigan State, they kept it there. And when Broom came back, he left the Michigan State game with an injury. He comes back, and I thought he was going to kill somebody. Like that looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out ready to just give everybody a stunner.
For being the overall number 1 seed, they have honestly been the most disrespected number 1 seed in the entire tournament. Yeah. There were so many people, including analysts, including everybody, that picked them out in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 because of that lack of toughness you're talking about. I mean, they lost to that really soft Tennessee team, and then Texas A&M was the same thing. I'm like, okay, something's really not connecting, but you are right. Something lit their fire in that Michigan State team, and now, I mean, I'm really having a hard time. I'll have it picked before we make our selections. I'm having a hard time really picking between Auburn and Florida right now.
Yeah, that's definitely a toss-up. And this goes back to another thing that I want to talk. Well, we'll talk about their age. Let's talk about their age first.
Okay.
So they're older. Their average age is over 23, which is older than a couple of NBA teams.
Chad Baker Mazara's 26 years old.
And he has another year left. It's insane how old some of these college teams are now. And I think, honestly, some of these guys, there's no longer going to be, the fact they're letting some of these guys play 5 or 6 years. They're not going to go straggle along in the D League or the European League. They're just going to retire because they're probably going to, some of these guys have got to have banked like $20 million by now.
By the NIL?
Yeah.
Some of them, sure. I don't know how many on Auburn are banking this. There are. They're obviously doing their things, but I'm not sure they're banking as much as other athletes because, for being the number 1 and really the number 4 ranked team in the country at the final poll, they don't get anywhere. They do not get the respect they deserve in that department.
But I'm sure some of them are making good money. I've heard I'm hearing some players are making $2 to $3 million easily. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it is crazy how old they are, man. It's insane the fact that they're older than some of these NBA teams. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if some of these teams left in the Final Four can beat a couple of NBA teams.
I'm never going to say that. I'm never going to agree with that.
I will say in football, a college team's never beaten a pro team.
Right.
But in basketball, I think some college teams can beat a pro team.
We can argue this one off the air and tell everybody about it because I can't ever say that even Duke, as great as they're playing right now, I wouldn't put them against the Hornets. They would get beat.
Man,
they would get beat.
They run better plays.
They're definitely better coached, run better plays, and if you play this same game in 5 years, I would take Duke. But right now, at this exact moment, I would absolutely take an NBA team. I would take them over Auburn. But, I definitely get what you're saying. With the age factor, the strength factor. I've always said this a long time ago, why certain teams, like this is where the mid-majors don't have to die. You should go after these guys who really don't have that much of an NBA future.
Yeah.
Figure out some NIL money and find a way to keep them. Give them another year.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of these guys just want to stay in the game, and now they're getting paid. They're going to be older. Kids are going to get degrees.
Yeah. The only problem, though, with the mid-majors is, what normally helps the mid-majors a lot, if you go back and look at every great mid-major team, I hold great up because it's...
I hear what you're saying. But, very loose statement.
Look at Butler, the Butler team that made the title game, they might be an outlier. But the VCU team that made the Final Four, George Mason that made the Final Four, some of these other teams...
Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, St. Peter's that made the Elite Eight. They're older teams and that have played together. But they're played together. And now that's what you're not seeing with the mid-majors. These teams aren't unified. No. These guys are all, this is their 4th year. They played at Texas, Alabama. Now they're at, Missouri State. So they're not unified like they used to be.
Or, to me, another thing that mid-majors are doing because, Sion James, came from Tulane. I didn't even know who he was because nobody cares about Tulane. And now he's one of the catalysts of Duke.
Yeah. Well, they're saying this year one of the top guys in the free agency That's what I'm calling it.
They have general managers now.
Yeah, they're saying that one of the top guys this year is the center from Alabama Birmingham. Averaged almost 12 rebounds a game. So
I'll have to go check him out. But players like that get plugged in. They get NIL money.
Yeah.
That's where the mid-majors are dying. Their freshmen and sophomores are now going to Kentucky, going to Duke, going to the Blue Bloods, going to wherever. Now, apparently, they're all going to the SEC.
Yeah.
But I don't hate them for that. The money's there. You know, it is the SEC as much as you and I hate everything about them.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lifelong. I hate the SEC.
Yeah,
I always will.
The Big Ten also, not a fan.
I like the Big Ten better than the SEC.
Yeah. Let's go on to Florida. Let's go on to Florida's path. So they beat Norfolk State. Mm-hmm. Then they knock out the two-time back-to-back defending champion.
I wasn't very sure about that one.
Hey, and who told you? I told you not to write UConn off. I've been telling you that. I've told you not to write them off.
You were right about the UConn and the way they performed, but they did not get it.
Well, I will say this. UConn has the best coach in basketball right now. Then Florida basically just dismantles Maryland. And then Texas Tech. They thought the game ended early? I don't know.
They couldn't make a shot. They thought at 4 minutes left that this was just a done deal. Now I'm gonna give Walter Clayton all the credit in the world. Yeah. He hit some shots that I don't think Kobe would have hit.
Yeah, he's. Yeah, we can talk. We'll talk about him more later because I got a category that we're going to talk about when we get to the end. But yeah, that dude's unbelievable. And Florida,
great player.
I like the way that Florida's playing. Sure. They remind me of the 2000 Florida team that made the Final Four.
I hope it's the same exact result.
Yeah. They lost to Michigan State in the final. Yeah. I think they remind me a lot of that Florida team for some reason. But their path, honestly, to me, I don't see any surprises with how their games have gone, really. I think Texas Tech held on could have held on and won, but Florida didn't give up.
No, they're a fighting team.
And then UConn, like I said, you couldn't count out UConn. I thought that was going to be possibly one of the best games of the tournament, and it really was.
The talent just took over in that game. It was not the coaching.
No.
I mean, they made plays. And I'm going to give Florida credit. You know, Florida and their fans are absolutely smoking Duke on social media, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know, it will get settled one way or the other. You know, but, I mean, they absolutely make plays, but they also try to do too much at the wrong times.
Yeah.
Like, they are really this close to not being here. I mean, Texas Tech absolutely had them. And you can't continue to do that with one seeds.
No.
Like, you got to play a complete game. Now you have to play a complete game.
Yeah.
There is no tomorrow.
Well,
Your season ends here one way or the other.
Yeah, and I think really most of the time the national champion team faces a game like that at some point in the tournament where
I think so.
Where a team they're supposed to beat gives them a fight. Because I'm not saying they're supposed like that UConn. Yeah, maybe they're supposed to win that game, but to me that's just two great teams playing each other.
Yeah.
But Texas Tech, Florida's supposed to win that 7 out of 7 times.
Oh, and if you played a 7-game series, I see Florida winning 4-1.
Yeah, 4-0.
I wouldn't doubt that. Well, I don't know. With the way that went, they might could get one, but they would not win the series.
No, not at all. Let's move on to the other side of the bracket now. We got Duke. They beat Mount St. Mary's. Then they beat Baylor with your boy Jeremy Roach. Let's see. Who did they beat after Arizona? Caleb Love.
That was very poetic.
I guess they retired Caleb Love.
Not really.
And then they beat Alabama. So, I mean, has our perception of Duke changed at all? I mean, I think they were supposed to beat Arizona.
I think but I didn't think it'd be that close. So, but that game was very personal.
Yeah,
there was an underline to that game, and sometimes that can make the difference in a game because if that thing with Caleb Love retiring Coach K and Duke retiring Caleb Love wasn't there, I think Duke wins that game by 15-20. They played under a lot of pressure. Caleb Love knew what he had. I'm gonna give that
Caleb
guy
Love.
credit. He had 35 points.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
He was the best player on the floor.
That's what I was about to say. He was the best player in that game.
Yes, he was. As good as Cooper Flagg's game was, I would give the MVP on that game, win or lose, to him.
100%. 100%. I mean, Duke has 4 guys that are probably going to be first-round picks this year, and the best player in that game was Caleb Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb Love proved to me that I don't know how long of a career he will have, but he's an NBA player. You may disagree, but I don't.
1,000% I disagree.
You're telling me there's not teams he can't come help?
I mean,
he couldn't help the Hornets. The Hornets are horrendous.
So I know how the NBA should be.
Sure.
But I know how the NBA is.
The politics.
He's 24.
Yeah.
That's too old.
He's also not that big of a guy.
They're going to find a 19-year-old that's the same size and be like, oh, that kid's 19.
Oh, Concanipple?
No, well, he's bigger than Caleb. That's two different positions.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, like, they're going to find another 6'3" guard and be like, oh, well, he's 19. Caleb Love's 23. What do we need? Like, you know what I'm saying? So Caleb Love, to me, I'll be shocked if he plays more than 20 games in the NBA.
The way you explained it, that makes perfect sense because
talent-wise,
that NBA's an investment with all their players.
Yeah.
And when you can gain 5 years and potential, I get that. Like, I'm not sure how high his ceiling is, but I just feel like at this exact moment, there are teams he could really come in and help.
I agree. You're looking at what's in the NBA, 400-something players in the NBA.
Roughly.
He 1,000% is one of the best 400-and-something best players in the country. I think so, too. 100%. But the way the NBA works, he has no chance of getting there. It just doesn't.
That remains to be seen.
I see your point. If he played this good in 2023, yes, I think he would have had some kind of career. But this is 2 years later. I just don't think he has a chance, man.
I don't know if he'll get drafted, but I think he might take the Seth Curry route.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see the Seth Curry route. And Seth Curry, for not being drafted, has had a pretty solid NBA career.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more like, what's that guy that keeps winning the dunk contest? He's going to have like a career like that guy.
I don't remember. Oh, Mac McClung?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Oh, he's way better than Mac McClung, though.
Yeah, but the guy averages like 30 in the G League. So Duke's in the Final Four.
They are there.
Yeah, they beat Alabama. I think Alabama... like I said, they were my reluctant team to pick in the Final Four. To
me, that actually proved. So the first 3 games didn't really prove a lot to me. I'm like, okay, they're supposed to win those games. Arizona game was a little tighter than I wanted. The only game where they didn't cover, but they got the job done. They moved on. Alabama's had some great wins and a great season, and I mean they put up 113. In the Sweet 16. You still had to hit the 25 threes.
Yeah, I mean.
So, and listen, this is a team that went into Auburn and won.
Yeah,
I mean,
rivalry game.
Right, but I mean, you still need talent to win those games. Duke and North Carolina is a rivalry game, too.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they have a lot of big wins. They've beaten Tennessee. Beat Tennessee, Kentucky. They did lose to Florida.
Yeah.
Which is okay. But to me, they were a good team and a great test. And Duke wired them. They just owned the game from start to finish. And if it wasn't for Alabama's three-point shooting, that game could have been 30 easily.
Well, it's a game. Alabama plays a game where they either have to be hitting their threes or they have to get the foul
But they
calls.
couldn't get them off.
Yeah,
the defense was sweltering.
Yeah, I mean, they missed some open ones too. But they either had to shoot good from 3 and they have to get foul calls, and they got neither one in that game. So it was, if you're not getting either one of those, it's a guaranteed loss for them. That's how their team is set.
I am going to mention one player on that Alabama team that I think is going to play basketball for a very long time. Oh, yes,
the Dakota kid. That guy's unbelievable.
That's a good NBA player right there.
100%.
He's going to go make a lot of money. He might even win an NBA championship.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that he'll be on a good team.
He can win the dunk contest.
I don't know about that, but he can be he'll be on a good team for sure. The last Final Four team, we got Houston.
No.
They beat SIUE. I don't remember who they played in the Final Four.
They beat their 16 seed.
Yeah. They beat Gonzaga in a close game, which again, Gonzaga as a lower seed, I told you, is dangerous as a lower seed.
They gave them all they wanted.
And I picked Gonzaga to win that in my bracket, by the way. So I was close. Just saying. Then they beat Houston. I mean, they beat Purdue, which
great. Okay, that might be the best game of the whole tournament.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
With the best finish.
I think it actually tells me that. Matt Painter is actually a great coach.
Well, it also tells me that Matt Painter should be questioned for allowing a layup for not covering the inbounds passer.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually sat there and saw that come. I'm like, nobody's on the inbound passer.
Defense, yeah.
And he's literally can get. There's enough time.
Yeah, I still think Matt Painter's a great coach.
Oh no, he is a great coach, but he really let that one slip there. Yeah, I'm sorry, he let that one slip badly.
Yeah, that game also showed me that officiating is pretty bad in college basketball right now.
It cannot be worse than the ACC tournament.
We had there was a lot of weird calls in that game, and then also a lot of reviews that just kind of sucked. Then Houston goes and beats Tennessee so bad at Tennessee.
Soundly.
They had 15 points in the first half. 15 points in the first half. Yeah, so that's how our Final Four teams get there. First and foremost, no good.
I was just going to tell you how boring I thought the Houston and Tennessee game really was.
It was halftime. I quit watching.
I can't because I always wonder. I want to see this comeback if it happens. But
yeah, I knew there was.
They got to 8, and I still had no faith.
Yeah,
what were they down? 19 at halftime.
Yeah,
and they still lost by 19.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awful.
Albeit they pulled away in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah,
because I think Tennessee just gave up and said there's nothing.
Oh yeah, It was
impressive though. I mean, they still beat a good SEC.
Considering
team.
that I was questionable coming into this tournament, I had a coin flip on if I wanted Tennessee to win the title or not. And the fact that they got just manhandled like that.
Oh, they weren't made for it. They're Alabama and Tennessee, I mean, we should be loving this, laid some major eggs for the SEC.
Oh, I mean, I love when the SEC loses. We know that. So we got to the Final Four here.
All right.
Before we talk about the games ourselves, I want to talk about... Let's talk about the best players that are left.
Let's go.
Here in this field here. And I want to talk about just who do you think are the top 3 players? I'm just going to go top 3. Top 3 between all 4 teams.
Go with it.
All right, so let's start off at number 3. Let's start off at number 3.
We'll probably be very similar.
Do you want to go first? Or
No,
we're not going to be similar at all.
Oh.
Number 3, I think the number 3 best player left in this tournament is Clark and Nipple.
Okay, wow. I would never have expected that.
I think he's
definitely not my third.
I think he's got the size. I think he's got the speed. I think he might be the best shooter left in the tournament. And he actually plays good enough defense to where he kind of makes up. He's sneakily strong. And at 6'7", I really don't think there's a matchup for him in college basketball. So I think he's my number 3 best player left in this tournament.
Excellent.
Yeah. So who's your number 3 best player left in this tournament?
Johni Broome.
Johni Broome. All right. I mean, another really good player. Possibly the national player of the year.
You said okay, so are we talking about skill set throughout the season or during the tournament?
Just whatever. Just however you look at it. Just if I told you to pick 3 players right now, however you want to do it.
Oh, why? It was just talent and prospect?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I'm going to change my third.
Okay, that's fine.
It's Walter Clayton.
Walter Clayton. Okay, all right.
Okay, it's Walter Clayton. Yeah. He's been consistent all year. I'm going to state this for all the Florida fans watching, all 1 or 2 of you that we hope tune in and make comments. You are not here without him. Oh, yeah, no. End of story.
Not even close.
No. Y'all owe him a statue no matter what happens, whether they win it or whether they dog it with Auburn. You owe that man a statue for where he's brought you.
I think you take any other point guard, put him on that team, and they lose like second round.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't have beat UConn.
No.
All right, so that's my number 3.
All right. My number 2 player is Johni Broome.
Whoa, okay.
Johni Broome. I think he is. I don't think there's anybody in college that can really stop him from getting to the ball. Whether it's rebounding or scoring where he needs to be, he's just a matchup problem. And honestly, I feel like even in the NBA, I think he can be a stud in the NBA as well. So I think he's a really good player, man. I think he gets to the ball. He's got a good motor. He's got a killer instinct, which I think in college basketball carries you a long way. And that's what he has, and that's what that team has, and that's why they're here this weekend. Johni Broome is my number 2 player.
That's why they're the overall number 1 seed and only lost 2 games until the end.
Exactly. So he's my number 2 player.
And my number 2 player is, we can speed up this podcast, Johni Broome.
There we go. All right. So, we both agree.
Johni Broome.
We both agree.
I'm with you on that. And your number 1 player
my number 1 is Walter Clayton Jr.
I love it.
I think I don't think there's a better college basketball player than he is. And I think maybe we overlooked him throughout the season. But he's shown up in the big time. And like you said, they're not winning without him.
No.
Like, there's 0% chance that they win without him. And you keep talking, we've talked about NBA futures. That kid if he's not a top 5 pick, something is busted with this draft because
he'll have a great NBA career.
I don't care which NBA team you're a fan of, whether it's the Hornets, the Warriors, the Spurs. Those are probably my 3 teams that I watch. Any of them, I want to have Walter Clayton. He would do great on the Warriors as Steph Curry's backup. He would do great on the Hornets as their starting point guard. On the Spurs, he would do great as their 6th man, a la Manu Ginobili. Walter Clayton Jr., I think, is the best player in college basketball right now. Nobody can stop him. I think he plays pretty good defense. He wants the ball. He's a killer. He's fun to watch, too.
I love your outtake. Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I do. My number 1 player I know is going to be very clear and obvious, but I'm going to give you a very brief cliff-noted explanation of how I got there. It's Cooper Flagg. We knew that was coming, and yes, I know and I'm well aware that he is loaded with absolute studs around him, and they are all buying into everything the coach is saying. But if he is not on the court, this team is not in the Final Four. Okay? I know they won that ACC tournament without him. I'm telling you, they don't beat Arizona without him on the floor. That's a promise.
They're not.
They might have been a number 1 seed. However, they would not have got past Arizona.
Yeah.
They would not have the best record in all of college basketball. They'd have probably finished 3rd or 4th in the SEC.
The ACC?
No.
Oh, that's
if they were in the... I'm sorry, I should have prefaced that.
Yeah.
If they were in the SEC... Oh, no, I still think they could win the ACC without...
Yeah, I was going to say,
no,
that's kind of where I was getting
at. You proved yourself.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at you, but we're also still rolling, too. No, if Duke were in the SEC without Cooper Flagg, they'd be the 3rd or the 4th best team in that division.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
And because of him, and not just because of his super talented play, that man is a floor general. They are running the offense through him. He is distributing, getting assists. He is seeing his teammates, and they are all one cohesive, synergetic movement together. And it's because of him. This is why he's the best basketball player. Not because he's super talented one-on-one and can do anything. It's because he is making his team the best team in the country, the favorite to win, and if they do win it, it will be because of him. And that is end of story. That's my take on it. That's where I'm going.
I like
Cooper.
I like it. I think he's a great player, actually. I think he's a great college player. He's a horrible matchup for anybody that he plays against.
Sure. In college, yes.
Yeah, he's a horrible matchup. So, I mean, yeah, I think he is a great player. Absolutely 100%. I think you're right. He does help the team get better. I think they're still
Duke's not winning the title without him.
I still think they're a great team even without him.
They are, but I don't think they'd win a title.
But I'm going to stick with Conca-Nipple as the best player on that team. I've been saying that for weeks now, and I truly 100% believe it.
He is clutch.
Yeah, and I really do think if I was an NBA drafting team, I really do think Cooper Flagg would be my 3rd pick off of that team. Maybe even 4th. Might even be 4th off the Duke team.
Off of potential or off of your eyeball
If I'm drafting right now for the future, if I'm an NBA franchise, I think there's at least 2 Duke players I'd take over Cooper Flagg. Maybe even 3.
Respect it.
Maybe, because I'm taking Malawak. If you can teach Malawak to just stand there in the lane, he's possibly the best center in the NBA. But I have a feeling
better than Wemby.
I mean, no. But you know what I'm saying though. He's going to be great. But the problem is, I feel like Malawak's going to want to move out and take jump shots and be, whatever. But
I don't think a good NBA team that's smart will even allow him to
exactly.
do that.
So I think if I'm ranking my Duke players, I'm going Knipple, Malawak, and I might even put Tyrese Proctor at number 3. I might even because I think he's a great shot. He is
a great shot.
He knows what shots to take, what shots not to take. He moves the ball well, and I think if I was an NBA team, I think maybe I would want him. I think he would be a great bench guard. So yeah, I think maybe Flagg or Proctor could be 3rd. Flip a coin. Depends on what you need. If you need another big guy to come in, a la, Dalton Connect, or if you need a point guard or whatever. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But
I am risking my entire general managership of an NBA team if I have the number one pick on Cooper Flagg, and I will live with it.
I'm saying, well, yeah. If I'm picking right now, my number one pick's Walter Clayton, and then possibly Con Knible. Those are probably my top two picks. If I'm the Hornets and the Wizards right now.
Oh, I pray I don't win the draft if you're in charge.
I'm just saying, man. Hey, I think come back to me in 10 years, man. There's a reason I wanted to talk about who our top three players were. One, I knew we would disagree. Two, I knew neither one of us would pick a player from Houston.
Sad, isn't it?
It's kind of crazy that I personally don't even consider that any of their players would be. LJ Cryer is probably their best player, I guess.
That's who I was thinking about. Well, no, they have a serious shooter. What is his name?
Ozon?
Ozon, that's it.
But I'm not even sure if he's a top 10 player left in the field.
But you know what they are, Justin?
Yeah.
They're the Super Bowl 50 Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Well, this is why I want to just go ahead and talk about that game first. The Duke and Houston game.
Okay.
And I'm taking Houston to win.
I figured you would.
Well, no, at this point, this isn't. I'm not filling out my bracket anymore. I take Duke to lose to whoever, the blonde school of Memphis, Tennessee, or whoever they played this year.
Close game.
No, I really do. I think Houston. I don't know, man. The fact that they don't have a good player, but the fact that they're a great team, I don't
have the crowd.
Yeah, they have the home crowd. They're in their home state. They're the toughest team left. There's no argument.
Physically?
Yeah,
I think so.
There's nobody that can argue with that. And I don't know, man. Maybe they're the underdog. Maybe nobody's looking at them. And last time, we already talked about this earlier in the day. Last time all four number one seeds were there, maybe possibly the worst team won with Kansas. Maybe Memphis.
They were the fourth seed of that tournament.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, I don't know, man. I think Houston somehow can pull off the win against Duke.
I'm going to tell you why I don't hate your pick. Okay?
Yeah.
We talked about this before this started, so I'm going to kind of mention it here. The reason I don't take his pick is when a team is constantly disrespected and they play a physical, savage style of defense where they just try to lock you up in every aspect, they are difficult to play.
Yeah.
Now, they do have some holes in them that have been exposed. They had a great record and they played in the Big 12, so I'm going to show them respect, but I'm going to go opposite of you, obviously, and take Duke. But I'm going to tell you why I'm going to take Duke. Is because Duke's length, they don't necessarily have the physicality of Houston.
They're long. They're
long and they're athletic and they move well. They stayed in front of Mark Sears the entire time. They shut him down. And Houston's not known for having a big style offense. Mm-mm. So it would not shock me if they didn't get over 55 points.
Yeah, I think it'll be a low-scoring game regardless.
And my score, I've said this coming over here, I'm going to say 62-54 Duke. Because Duke has way too many offensive weapons. Yeah. They move the ball around, and they're going to get fouled a lot. Duke is going to get fouled because they drive the ball like crazy.
First of all, if the referees are calling fouls in this game, Duke wins by 20. If the referees let them play, I do think this game comes down to the last couple seconds.
I think they're going to call it tight because that's how they've been calling it lately.
I know, and if they call it like that, Duke's winning by 25 because Houston can't play without fouling.
They are physical and nasty. They're the Detroit Pistons of the early 90s, man.
I really do think this game is going to come down to officiating. I really do. How the referees call this game. If they call it, if they're letting Houston get away with what they let Baylor get away with when they beat Gonzaga in the title game the other year, then I think Houston might actually win this game by 10 points. If they call it somewhere in the middle, I think it's a coin toss. But if Duke shoots 25 free throws, Duke wins by 20. Yeah.
And I also think that when you're dealing with that much length and you're having to stay in front of a fast team like Duke, you're going to wear out. They're going to use their skyhook play to the lob numerous times. Not in the first half. In the first half, Houston's going to be fresh. They know what's going to be coming, so they're going to prepare for it. But when you get tired and you get mental lapses, that play is going to be very effective and very used. It's going to be low scoring, and then I feel like Duke's going to take off a little bit.
Yeah, I think the first one to 69 wins.
Oh, I don't think either team will get to 69 points, Justin.
Possibly not. Here's another reason why I like Houston. I was kind of saving this till the end of the argument. And it's kind of what we already talked about with the Duke and Arizona game. 7 players were on this Houston team last year when they lost to Duke.
Revenge factor.
So, whereas one Duke player returned from last year. So, was it really only one?
Tyrese?
Foster wasn't on the team last year?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Okay,
I'm sorry, it's 2.
Okay,
I'm sorry, but Foster barely played, so it's not like he was really
So maybe only one played in the game. Maybe that's what it was. But 7 Houston players played. So sometimes I think that matters. Like Wisconsin beating Kentucky the other year when Kentucky was undefeated. That was a revenge game.
But let me tell you the difference here. Okay, here's the difference that cannot be ignored. All the players, that's 2015. All the players from Wisconsin and all the players from Kentucky faced each other the same way the next year.
Kentucky had some different players, man.
They had Karl Anthony Towns come in, but I'm saying it was still the Harrisons.
They had a couple,
They still had players on the team, and Wisconsin was still there.
Like Devin Booker was a freshman. I think.
The only player they're going to remember on that team is Tyrese Proctor. This team does not play like last year's Duke team. Last year's Duke team got lucky because Jamal Shedd got hurt. That's why they won.
100%, yeah.
And I'm not going to move off of that. They got to an Elite 8 by default.
Yeah.
This year, this team is way more efficient, way more physical, way longer, way stronger, and they play better. They're better coached. They move the ball better and at a pace of the game that Tennessee does not. So there's going to be a lot for there's going to be a lot for Houston to handle. It really is. But I still think it'll be nip and tuck the whole way. I don't think Duke pulls away unless the refs start calling. But that's what Duke's going to do. They're going to get Cooper's going to get to the basket. So is Knipple. So is Tyrese Proctor.
Yeah,
they're going to go for the lob.
Yeah.
There's going to be fouls and there's going to be plays.
Yeah. And that's why I say it comes down to the officiating. Like
Alabama, I've watched these games, and this is what I figured out. Alabama moves the ball a whole lot faster than Houston does. I think Houston's a better team, but Alabama moves the ball a whole lot faster. Alabama has quicker guards, and Duke stayed in front of them the whole game.
Houston is a better team than Alabama. Now,
they are.
Yeah. I think last year Alabama was better than
Alabama's defense is absolute hot garbage.
Yeah, exactly. Alabama really, to me, maybe they were overranked throughout the year. Let's move on to the other game.
Yes, sir.
And I think this game will actually be better. I think this is the game.
I'm going to have my pick ready in a minute, so you have to go first.
I think this game, I really hope this game is SEC refs, just so they know what to expect. Because I just want these two teams, referees, let these two teams play.
Just please don't allow the ACC refs anywhere near the building. Please promise me that.
I just feel like if you let these two teams play, I think Auburn and Florida could be the game of the year. I think this game will be back and forth, up and down, tough and tough. Yeah, I really, honestly, I don't know really who to pick. I think
I just did it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Florida just because of Walter Clayton Jr. I got to go with the best player. When it's a toss-up, you got to go with the best player, and I'm going with the best player. But at the same time, Broom, like I said, Broom is going to come out, he's going to walk to the ring with a steel chair and clear the ring, and, that's intimidating. So, I think either way here, man, I'm taking Florida, though, I think, just because of Walter Clayton. I don't think Auburn can stop him, really. I think if he gets held below 25 points, that'd be a miracle, and I think this game reaches into the 80s, I think, for points-wise.
I'm with you.
Maybe even 90, but I think this could be, if the referees don't get involved, I think this could be the best game of the year. So what do you got?
What do I got?
Yeah,
you want to know?
Yeah.
I feel like Auburn has regained that fire in their eyes.
Yeah, which they
I agree. They're moving. I don't know what Bruce Pearl said to them in that timeout.
They were down by 10,
but boy, did it work because that 10-point lead was gone in 90 seconds.
And this is
and they kept beating them the whole way, and then they did the same thing to Michigan State, Florida. I get it. You're a great team. Walter Clayton's a great player. So is Condon. So is another of their dogs.
Huff, whatever. Yeah.
But you had 2 scary calls to much lesser teams than Auburn.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a revenge factor as well. I believe in that at a point, but I also feel like Auburn is good enough to avenge that loss in Florida. They've only played once this year, and Florida got them.
Yeah.
Okay? So
it sucks that they only play
I
once.
think they need to change that if they're going to do this. I think under the circumstances, 3 weeks ago I would have said Florida, no question. Justin, I'm taking Auburn. I think Auburn gets it done, 85-82.
Hey, I'm with it, man. Like I said, I think it was
close game, tight neck. I think the age and experience and the strength in grown men is. I think you said Walter Clayton can't be stopped.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they can stop Janai Broome.
I mean, probably not.
Really not. Yeah. Plus, they had Chad Baker-Mazara as an assassin. Yeah. What's his name? Hold on. Pettiford. The freshman. Might be the best freshman other than Cooper Flagg in America.
Yeah.
I mean the way he's been playing, and he absolutely, Michigan State's going to go to bed screaming thinking about them.
I can't wait to see who puts up money for Pettiford next year. He's a free agent in a week, so we'll see what, because they're all free agents
we'll
now.
need you, buddy. You can come play with the Boozers. Come on, Pettiford.
We'll see where he goes. I think that could be a toss-up.
So I'm going Auburn.
You're going Auburn. All right, so we disagree on both games.
Love that.
I'm taking Houston to win the whole title. I think Houston wins.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, though, Auburn, this is only their second Final Four. And last time when they made it, they beat Carolina to get to they beat Carolina in the Sweet 16 that year. But, Auburn wasn't 100%. They had just lost a player due to ACL. So this time they're going in 100%. So maybe Bruce Pearl finally gets a title. And honestly, I'm okay if Bruce Pearl gets a title. I like Bruce Pearl as a coach. But I think Houston wins the title. I want to see Kelvin Sampson get a title. I want to see Houston get a title. Houston is too good of a school to not have a title. It's insane that they have never won a championship.
If Duke loses, I will pull for Houston.
Yeah.
I really will.
I honestly think the winner of the Duke-Houston game wins a title. I don't think
good.
I just don't see Florida or Auburn winning that game and another game.
I'm with you. I do not think that Florida or Auburn would beat Houston right now.
Yeah. But also at the same time I say that, it would not surprise me if Florida wins and then just scores 100 points in the title game against somebody. This is so wide open this year.
That's what makes it great, though.
Yeah.
And so many people are complaining about not having the upsets.
Man,
I don't agree with you anymore. I want the best basketball, Justin.
Man, listen, hey, I love the upsets, but if the best teams get to the end, the best teams get to the end. What I just don't want them to expand the field, and I want them to keep allowing the mid-majors to be in it.
They'll be in it. Yeah. But, I'm going to tell you right now, starting in the year 2026, I'm going to do 2 brackets. One of them will just be chalk the whole way.
So literally,
then the other one will be 1s and 2 seeds.
Yeah. So if you're on ESPN right now and fill out a bracket and you just picked all the top seeds to win, right now you'd only be in the 97th percentile, though.
Crazy because nobody.
Yeah. I know,
well, that's because people don't realize the impact the NIL.
Because St. John's lost in that.
St. John's.
So I got Houston winning. Do you got Auburn beating Duke? No, you probably got Duke winning. Yeah.
I don't have Duke beating with my heart. I don't have Duke winning with my heart. I have Duke winning with my brain. I have Duke winning with my eyes.
Man,
listen, they are moving the ball and playing this game better than anybody.
I don't think they beat Auburn though.
What's that?
I don't think they beat Auburn.
Well, they already did once. Why not? They're moving. They are moving the ball. They have the best defense outside of Houston. Okay, they have the highest offense, and they have the most snipers, the most NBA picks, and here's another thing I've noticed: Florida's been playing ISO ball. Auburn's been playing a lot of ISO ball. Duke plays like a team and runs NBA plays. They're playing the game Coach K style. That's why John Shire's a coach. Coach K knew that he was going to get somebody, train him up to do it his way because it's proven imperfect. That's why he didn't give it to somebody else to turn into their own thing. This is traditional, old-school Duke basketball coming back with more talent. So, yes, I am taking Duke over Auburn, and I'm going to say 80-72 Duke.
I think Auburn would beat Duke. I think Duke would beat Florida, though. So, yeah. And I actually think that would be a race to 100.
I'm saying this with confidence. But I've also, you and I, Justin, we've seen so many times over the years the mighty have fallen.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to surprise me? No, it would not surprise me if Auburn found a way, or Florida, or any of these teams.
Oh, I'm not, yeah.
I mean, I would be slightly surprised if Houston. We talked about this before. Here's another thing I fear a little bit for Duke is playing this physical, hard, just battle royale basketball with Houston. And then you have to go try in the very next game after dealing with that, go score 90 points.
Yep.
So it's a tall task for Duke, but I also think it's one that they're going to finish and do because I'm going to say it right here, they are the best team.
Well, there you go. I do think it is great that we have 4 good teams and all these games are going to be exciting because I really honestly feel like the last few years it's been kind of, maybe, one side of the bracket is just not entertaining or maybe both sides aren't entertaining and just the finals is entertaining. Like last year, it was just the finals was entertaining. This Final Four was...
We all knew the story was told. We all knew that it was going to be UConn and Purdue.
Yeah, exactly.
If North Carolina would have been on Purdue's side, I might have questioned that.
Yeah.
But... we all knew, and I never doubted UConn to win that title. I knew that, and I knew that February 25th of last year.
I knew that,
way further back.
Yeah, like October or whatever preseason started.
It's much more wide open this year.
Yeah, exactly, and I think
it's going to be great.
Yeah, and I think this is the new norm. I think this is what we should get used to. I think it's going to start being this way.
No matter what, and this is another thing that I think people forget, and you may disagree with this. Only one team can win, but it doesn't mean the other 3 teams were failures. You ended in the same place that everybody else would love to be.
It also means that if you win, you're not a great team either. Just because, in the grand scheme of things, you don't have to be just because it's all 4 number 1 seeds. Mm-hmm. Whichever team wins, they're not automatically one of the best teams ever.
No, I don't think anybody. At least I know I don't think that.
No, I don't think that either. But I'm just saying, because the other time all 4 number 1s were there in 08, nobody's viewing that Kansas team as one of the best teams ever.
I wouldn't have said that about any 4 of those teams, though, as one of the best ever.
Yeah, well, maybe Carolina, if they had won.
Maybe one of the best to never win it. I mean, we can definitely have that conversation, but one of the best to never win it.
Yeah, possibly the best to never win it was probably either 2015 Kentucky or...
I would absolutely say that team.
21 Gonzaga. Yeah, and I still feel like they got hosed
24 Purdue.
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah,
never win it, and 99 Duke.
Yeah, possibly.
Unless you want to keep a 2000 in front of these years now.
Yeah, it's tough to go. It's tough. Yeah,
we can go way back and think of it. Actually, I already know the answer. 91 UNLV.
Oh, that was a pretty good team, yeah.
Pretty good. They were amazing.
You could also say 83 Houston.
We could delve into that for hours.
Yeah. I would personally probably say 81 North Carolina, probably.
Losing to Indiana.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Well, they shouldn't have played, though. The Pope was shot that day. They shouldn't have even played.
What are they doing?
Yeah. Let's hit on North Carolina for a minute here before we end the show.
Sure.
Transfer portal or free agency has started. First of all, did you see Michigan had a guy enter the transfer portal before they even played their last game?
They're all following, yeah.
But it was before they even played the last game. How does this even make any sense?
This is what Dickie V was talking about, and I agree with him a little bit. I mean, you can't do this in the NBA.
No.
Don't let it happen in college either.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of you should have to sign a contract. Whether it's, if... I
April 15th.
You should have to sign a contract. I would prefer if every player had to stay 2 years. But if you want to do 1-year contracts, that's fine. But I don't think everybody should be allowed to leave every year. It's getting kind of ridiculous. And I definitely don't think you should be allowed to leave in the middle. There should be nothing happening in the middle of the tournament.
Yes.
Right? This is what I wanted to hit on Carolina. Elliott Cadeau transfers. Already signed with Michigan. Come on, dude. They just lost. We're still, you don't even know what's going to happen. Maybe these other 4 teams, maybe, somebody leaves. How, in the NBA, that'd be in the playoffs, all of a sudden, Kevin Durant's oh yeah, I'm actually just going to sign with this team for next year.
Which is completely not allowed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how is it allowed in college?
If you want to be like the pros, and you got to treat it like the pros.
Plus,
April 15th, the college basketball year is always done before then.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Guaranteed. So make April 15th portal day.
It's usually done the first Monday of April.
Yeah, but it's where are we at? March 31st, and how many people have already signed deals?
700 entered the free agency on the first day. No, it's just crazy, man. Also, like, how do you transfer before the school year's even over? Like, I mean, but anyway, so Carolina's had 2 guys enter the transfer portal: Elliot Cadeau, Jalen Washington. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about those 2 guys leaving?
I think you're going to get better with Elliot Cadeau leaving for sure. I mean, I'm not bagging on him as a player. I think he's a good player. He's not knocking my socks off. I mean, he had some good moments in his career at Carolina. But, I mean, no, I think you're going to go get useful players. I don't think you're that far away from being 2023 again. Or, 2024 again.
Yeah, I think
your team last year was a very, very good team. And where did they go get their guys to transfer? And this is another thing that's going to have people are going to have to realize about the transfer portal. Some years you're going to hit studs.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And some years you're going to hit duds.
Oh, yeah.
Cormac Ryan, Harrison Ingram, for y'all, great. For Duke this year, Sion James, and who else came
Mason Gillis.
Mason Gillis. Yeah. I was going to say, Duke hit Mason Gillis is okay. Sion James is a great find. You're going to have years where you get some great ones. You're going to have some that just flop. They don't fit your system.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're
Tyson.
You know what? You can wash your hands. I think, and you can wash your hands of them the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't hate that. I mean,
no.
I think you're too big of a school. You're too big of a program. You have you're a blue blood. You're one. We're one of us. We're one of you. You know. So no, you're not going away. I think you just got to be. You got to get bigger, man. You got to get bigger. That's what you got to get bigger, more physical, nastier, and you need better shooting.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if those are the only 2 players that leave, I think Carolina is actually a better team.
Oh well, no, they're going to be good again. They're going to be a top 10 team.
If you just look at the players that could return right now, if all these players return, you could have Seth Trimble, Ian Jackson, Drake Powell, and then you have Vin Allen Lubin, as your center or power forward. But then you also get Zayden High returning, who was suspended this year. So he might return. And I think he actually probably would have been the best big man on the team this year. So you could have that as your team. That's a pretty good team. And then you throw in, another like guard and a center, and then they're getting 3 great freshmen.
I was going to say, you got a good 5-star coming in.
Caleb Wilson.
Yeah.
That's a good team right there. And I think if you were to tell me any 2 players leave, I would actually have chose Jalen Washington and Elliot Cadeau, because I blame them for the season going so bad. Because the whole thing was, they're going to be better. Jalen Washington, not better. Elliot Cadeau, not really better. And look at Elliot Cadeau's stats. They're pretty much right on par with Larry Drew. Remember Larry Drew?
Of course I remember Larry Drew. He's a better player than Larry Drew, though.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
No, but I just feel like he can do more with the ball. But is he a better player? Not necessarily.
I hate to say it, but
Larry Drew might actually. Now that I sit back and remember, Larry Drew didn't.
He played in the NBA.
He was on a much better team though than Cadeau was on.
Oh yeah, that helps. Yeah.
He
just didn't fit that team. He didn't fit that team. I think. Larry Drew, his stats are a little below Elliot Cadeau's, but it's a faster tempo now. Things have changed a little bit. I think Larry Drew is a better point guard.
Larry Drew was there what year? Forgive me.
09 and 10.
Well, 10 was terrible, but 09 you were the champs, and so he wouldn't have good stats.
10 was a bad year, but he had a lot of injuries, and he was there for half the season in 11, and then he left. But no, I think Elliot Cadeau.
That's right, because that's the Harrison Barnes and Kendall Marshall. That coming in.
Yeah, then Marshall took his spot, and then he literally left the next day.
And you see how much better your team got when he left?
Yeah,
that's how I remember Larry Drew. He did just pick up his ball and go home.
Elliot Cadeau, Jalen Washington, first of all, I think could still do great at a smaller school. You throw him at a mid-major, I think he could be a great center.
Oh, he'd be the player of the year.
Yeah, I think Elliot Cadeau, he went to Michigan.
He's going to get lost.
Yeah.
Michigan, you don't know what you just did to yourself. You were actually a decent team. Now you have a guy that's he can't defend anybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because I actually feel like if you go back to last year when we lose to Alabama in the final 16, he wasn't even on the court for the last little bit.
I mean, I look at it like, okay, like he has a decent shot and he has a really fast first step and he is good in good in transition. But if you get him in a half-court game, he's useless.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Tyrese Proctor, and not just him, many others just worked him all year. I mean, like, you need more. You need a bigger 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guy with athleticism that can play defense.
Yeah, like I would much rather Seth Trimble return instead of Elliot Cadeau.
Oh, I agree with you.
I think, honestly, I'm okay if Seth Trimble is the starting point guard next year. I really am. Houston, by the way, I just want to say really quick, Houston has 3 5-star freshmen coming next year.
Houston's not going anywhere.
No, but
I feel like
but when's the last time they had a 5-star freshman?
Well, I mean, number one, now they're in the Big 12, so you get way more television, way more televised games. You got a great coach.
Oh, yeah.
Kelvin Sampson's amazing, and, you've got really good players. I mean, they're going to be involved in the portal. No, I mean, I feel like within the next 5 years, Houston's going to get them one.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, as good as they are this year, like we're talking, like I picked them to win this title this weekend.
But you're going to have players taking off after this because they've been to the Final Four now, whether they lose or whether they win.
But 3 5-stars coming in might be better than whichever 3 players they lose.
Possibly. So, I mean...
I'm just saying, Houston could be better next year. UConn's getting some good freshmen next year. I'm excited. I think we got some great things. But also, this Final Four this weekend is going to be super fun.
Yeah, it is.
Super scintillating, sensational, in the words of Dick Vitale. So, yeah, I got to, don't like, he was good. I give him a lot of crap and kind of hate him, but he's also really good. So
he likes you when you're good.
He likes everybody when they're good.
He likes Duke the most.
That's the thing I don't like about him. He's such a he just loves everybody. It's like,
yeah, but come on, you have to admit, a lot like Jim Nance, I will miss.
Yeah, Jim
Nance. I will miss Dick Vitale when he's good.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. But Brandon, this has been a good show.
Yes,
man.
It has.
Good blue, bad blue. I'm taking Houston.
Taking Duke.
We'll see who's right. We'll come back in a couple weeks. And
because we took Duke and Houston, Florida and Auburn prepare to raise a banner.
Yeah. We'll come back in a couple of weeks and talk the championship and talk off-season notes, and we'll come up with some good topics for the off-season too, because I want to keep doing the show. I'm not going to wait till October.
No, we're not. Yeah. You got to remember, with the portal and with everything, with NIL, this is now a professional sport.
Yeah.
God bless them. No more.
Yeah, we can talk free agency all summer.
NCAA was nothing but socialist for years. Now they're doing these players justice. Yeah, so, I'll argue that till the day I die.
Yeah, so we can watch. We can talk free agency all summer and other stuff. So you guys are stuck with us all year. This is a lot of fun. We enjoy it. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it. Good blue, bad blue. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Brandon, last words.
Go Duke.
There you go. And I'll just say check you later.